The rain came down in sheets that Thursday evening, the kind of storm that bends trees sideways and turns streets into rivers. Marcus Hayes, a 34-year-old single father of two, was just pulling his second-hand truck into the driveway of his modest home on the edge of town when he noticed a sleek black car swerved halfway into the ditch across the road. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and the power of small moments to change lives, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to Kindness True Stories. Also, tell us in the comments, where in the world are you watching from? He almost drove past. He had dinner to make, homework to help with, and barely enough energy left in his body after a 10-hour shift at the warehouse. But something stopped him. He grabbed his umbrella, told himself it would only take a minute, and jogged across the flooded street. Inside the car sat a woman, somewhere in her late 30s, dressed in a sharp blazer, now soaked through her open window, hands trembling on the steering wheel. Her phone was dead, her tire was blown, and the nearest town was 20 minutes away in perfect weather. Tonight, it might as well have been 100 miles. Come inside, Marcus said simply. You can't stay out here. She hesitated. Her name was Diana Clarkson, and she was not the kind of woman who accepted help easily. As the founder and CEO of Clarkson Innovations, a tech company valued at over $400 million, she had spent 15 years proving to the world that she needed no one. But her daughter was at home with a babysitter. Her assistant wasn't answering, and the storm was getting worse by the second. She grabbed her bag and followed the stranger inside. Marcus's home was small but warm. The smell of soup simmering on the stove filled the air. Two kids, 8-year-old Lily and 10-year-old James, looked up from the kitchen table with wide, curious eyes. Marcus introduced them all with quiet ease, handed Diana a dry towel, and went right back to stirring the pot. He didn't ask who she was or what she did. He just said, "Soup okay with you?" And that simple question cracked something open in Diana's chest that she hadn't even known was sealed shut. She sat down at that little table and ate the best meal she could remember having in years. Over the next 2 hours, while the storm raged outside, they talked. Marcus told her about losing his wife 3 years ago, about picking up extra shifts just to keep the lights on, about how Lily still slept with her mother's old sweater because it still smelled like her. Diana listened in silence, and then, slowly, she began to speak too. She talked about building her company from nothing while raising her daughter alone, about boardrooms full of people who respected her title but doubted her heart, about the exhaustion of always having to be strong. She talked about the loneliness of success. Neither of them tried to impress the other. In that small kitchen, with rain hammering the windows and 2 children quietly doing their homework nearby, 2 people who had been carrying the weight of the world alone finally just breathed. A tow truck came at midnight. Diana thanked Marcus with genuine warmth, pressed her business card into his hand almost as an afterthought, and disappeared into the night. Marcus looked at the card once, set it on the counter, and went to tuck his kids into bed. 3 weeks later, Marcus was called into his warehouse manager's office and told the company was downsizing. His position was being eliminated. He walked out into the parking lot and sat in his truck for a long time, staring at nothing. That evening, going through old mail on the counter, his hand found Diana's card. Almost without thinking, he sent her a message. Just a short note thanking her again for that night and mentioning in passing that he'd hit a rough patch. He didn't ask for anything. He never would have. But Diana remembered everything about that night. She remembered his kindness, his humility, his quiet strength. She remembered how he had opened his door without a second thought to a stranger in the rain. Within a week, Marcus received a call offering him a logistics coordinator position at Clarkson Innovations, a role that matched every skill he had spent years quietly building. It wasn't charity. It was recognition. Today, Marcus and Diana are close friends. Their children play together on weekends, and Marcus says the storm that night was the best thing that ever happened to him. Diana says the same. One act of kindness, one open door. 2 lives changed forever. If this story moved you, please show your love by liking, sharing, and subscribing to our channel, Kindness True Stories. where every story reminds you that humanity is still beautiful,